Hey YouTubers, Robbie Webster here, and I'm finally back doing another movie-related video. There's been a lot of vlogging type videos lately. Obviously you all know that my life's been kind of crazy lately with having a baby, buying the new house, and all that type of stuff. Still don't have my nerd cave completely finished. I don't even have the majority of it done, but I do have this small little section over here that's kind of finished, and it looks decent enough to make it the backdrop for a little video. So yeah. This video is going to be about my favorite movies of 2012, and by that I mean movies that were released in the United States in the year 2012. There seemed to be some sort of confusion last year when I made my 2011 video. And also it's nice that I'm going to be getting this up in January rather than all the way in April or May like I did last year. Now, that being said, I haven't seen every movie that came out. I have seen a fair amount of them, and I feel like I've seen enough to formulate my top 10 list. So yeah, if my list is different from the movies that you like, you know, don't take offense to that. Everybody has different tastes. These are just my favorites. I think the title of the video is going to say something like Top 10 Movies of 2012. What I really mean is my top 10 favorites. So, you know, don't take offense to that. If anything, you should post your favorite movies of 2012 and let me know what they are, because I'd really love to see your list. And maybe there's something on there that I haven't had a chance to see, and you'll spark an interest in me to go see it. So yeah, let's get on with the video. Alright, before I get into the actual top 10 list, I want to talk really quick about a few films that I enjoyed that just didn't quite make it onto that top 10. They're honorable mentions, and there's nothing wrong with these movies, it's just that they weren't quite up to the other 10, and so yeah, that's why they're just honorable mentions. The first one I want to talk about is Flight. It's a movie that just recently came out, so I just saw it very recently in the theater, and thought it was amazing. It stars Denzel Washington, and it's directed by Robert Zemeckis, and Denzel Washington's performance is amazing. I'm not even going to go into like the plot of these honorable mentions. I just want to name them and say, hey, they're worth watching, go check them out. I think that Denzel Washington's definitely going to be nominated for Best Actor, and I mean he could win it for he's one of the best actors that was in a film this year. He's probably one of my top candidates, probably between him and Daniel Day-Lewis. So yeah, and then the other four honorable mentions I have here are actually already released on Blu-ray, so I'm just going to show you them real quick. First one is The Gray. This one came out really early in the year, but still was on the top 10 list up until about the last 2 weeks of December, because I saw a lot of movies and it was unfortunately pushed off the list. Next one is Lawless. This one was pretty good. I was actually surprised by how much I liked it. And then there's Snow White and the Huntsman. And then this one was just barely nudged off of the top 10. I think this was probably would have been number 10 up until the final movie I saw, which bumped it off, and that's Prometheus. This is an amazing science fiction film. I highly recommend it. Alright, so now let's move on to the actual top 10 list. In the number 10 spot is the Ben Affleck film Argo. Directed by and also starring Ben Affleck along with Bryan Cranston and John Goodman, Argo is based on the true story of the 1980 joint CIA and Canadian secret operation to extract 6 fugitive American diplomatic personnel out of revolutionary Iran. These 6 Americans had escaped from the U.S. Embassy in Iran, which had been overrun by revolutionaries. CIA agent Tony Mendez, played by Ben Affleck, hatched a plan to disguise the 6 Americans as part of a film crew scouting locations for a science fiction film. Affleck has done an amazing job creating a gripping thriller without the need for car chases, gunfire, and explosions. This is a must-see. In the number 9 spot, Brave. The newest Disney Pixar film features the voice talents of Kelly MacDonald, Billy Connolly, and Emma Thompson. Brave is the story of Princess Merida, who defies tradition in a quest to make her own path in life. Princess Merida meets a witch and is granted one wish. After making the wish, she quickly realizes that it is actually a curse, which she must overcome with her bravery and archery skills. Brave is different from every other cookie-cutter fairy tale princess story. She's a princess that can kick some serious butt. A very cool Disney character, definitely one of my favorites. In the number 8 spot, The Avengers. Iron Man. The Incredible Hulk. Captain America. Spider-Man. Oh, wait. No Spidey. Thank you, Lord. Thor. And the rest. Here on Gilligan. Oh, sorry. When I first heard about this awesome Marvel team-up movie, I was a bit skeptical, but Joss Whedon has done an amazing job here, balancing each of these amazing heroes and creating a cool story to bring them together. I really can't say more than that. It's a fun-filled, action-packed slugfest that's entertaining from beginning to end. Check it out. In the number 7 spot, the new 007 film Skyfall. Daniel Craig is back for the third time as Agent James Bond. In this film, MI6 is under attack by an ex-agent, played by Javier Bardem, who is seeking revenge. This film is beautifully crafted, full of suspense, with some amazing gunplay and, of course, car chases. This film has really reinvented the 007 franchise while still maintaining respect for the classic Bond. If you were turned off by Quantum of Solace, I highly recommend you give Skyfall a chance. It's well worth it. In the number 6 spot, Lincoln. Steven Spielberg has crafted another phenomenal film. This one about one of the greatest men in American history. This film chronicles President Abraham Lincoln during the continuing Civil War as he fights for the emancipation of slaves. Daniel Day-Lewis has transformed into the 16th president so beautifully, I just couldn't imagine anyone else attempting to match his performance. However, for me, the greatest performance in this film was that of Tommy Lee Jones as Thaddeus Stevens, the dictator of Congress as he was nicknamed. Too often, important men like him are overlooked by society. I'm very glad he was so prominent in this film. I think both Daniel Day-Lewis and Tommy Lee Jones are deserving of Oscar nominations. In the number 5 spot, Looper. In the year 2074, when the mob wants to get rid of someone, the target is sent 30 years into the past, where a hired gun awaits ready to do the job. Yeah, it sounds kind of crazy, right? Well, it worked, and it worked quite well. Joseph Gordon-Levitt plays one of these hired guns, a guy named Joe. One day he learns that the mob wants to close the loop, so to speak, by transporting back Joe's future self, played by Bruce Willis. I'm going to stop right there and go no further. All I can say is watch this movie. It's great. The performances by Gordon-Levitt and Willis are awesome. But there's a young character played by Pierce Gagnon. I'm not even sure if that's how you pronounce his name, but it's spelled Gagnon. He's a very young kid. He absolutely steals the show. I can't tell you how amazing his character is. I just can't say anything about his character at all because it would give away too much. Looper is a great film, and I think any science fiction fan would love it. In the number 4 spot, Moonrise Kingdom. Young lovers decide to run away from home and live together in the wilderness. Meanwhile, a local search party is formed to look for them. What more is there to say about this film? It's really brilliant and it's extremely funny. Wes Anderson has done it once again. It's just right up there with every other film he's made, and it's just right in the same tone. There's really nothing more I can say. Oh, and by the way, in case you were wondering, yes, Bill Murray is in this movie. In the number 3 spot, The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey. Peter Jackson is back at the helm of another epic film based on the writings of J.R.R. Tolkien. The first of 3 films follows a young Bilbo Baggins as he sets out on his journey to the Lonely Mountain with a group of dwarves to reclaim their stolen kingdom from the dragon Smaug. For me, this film is right on par with the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I would maybe place it like a peg behind those films, but it's right up there with them. I thought Jackson did an amazing job once again translating the words of Tolkien into a visible world for us to enjoy. He even gave us a little bonus that I was totally not expecting. You'll just have to watch the movie to find out what it is. I loved every minute of it, and I'm eagerly awaiting part 2 next winter. In the number 2 spot, Django Unchained. I struggled very hard to determine whether to make this film number 1 or number 2. It was a really difficult decision. Honestly, it would be hard to put into words the reason why it's not number 1, but it is. This movie is truly a masterpiece. Django Unchained, it's the story of a slave turned bounty hunter played by Jamie Foxx. With the help of his mentor, Dr. King Schultz, played incredibly by Christoph Waltz, Django sets out on a quest to save his wife from a ruthless plantation owner played by Leonardo DiCaprio. This film is simply amazing. The performances by the 3 I just mentioned, along with Samuel L. Jackson, are all Oscar-worthy. I must warn, the film is brutally violent, but I couldn't help but feel a sense of justice when I watched Django give these slavers what they deserved. As a bonus, the film features some hilarious cameos by Don Johnson, Walton Goggins, Franco Nero, Jonah Hill, and even Quentin Tarantino himself.
I will say no more. It's just amazing, and you need to see it.
And finally, in my number one spot, my favorite movie of 2012, The Dark Knight Rises.
The epic conclusion to Christopher Nolan's legendary Dark Knight trilogy. This film finds an aging and ailing Bruce Wayne living in the life of a recluse. He is soon forced to don the suit once again and face a new enemy called Bane. After seeing Heath Ledger's performance as the Joker in Dark Knight, I knew it could never be topped. But I will say that Tom Hardy has come close, probably as close as possible, in his portrayal of Bane. The entire star-studded cast is back for this film, along with the addition of Anne Hathaway, who really surprised me with her great portrayal of Catwoman, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who was amazing as Officer John Blake. I don't need to dig any deeper into the plot of this film. I'm sure most people have seen it. If you haven't, you really need to. It's a mind bender that has everyone debating over it, including myself. There's so many hidden meanings to multiple events that occur throughout the film. I honestly couldn't think of a better way to end this trilogy. I'm glad Nolan has the integrity to walk away from his masterpiece and not damage it in an attempt to make more money. It's too bad more filmmakers weren't like that.